Howdy gang, Kevin here. Guess we're gonna show you this. Somebody will ask. This is wife. My wife got me this for Father's Day. You know the drill. I fell off my stool. Hi, Monday, cigar and whiskey talk. But instead of actual whiskey today, just drinking some coffee. I lost it. With some bourbon cream in it. This test, pretty low test. I still got a lot of work to do outside today. And I don't want to be hammered while I'm sweating. Not that one gets me hammered. I wonder what was on that spoon. Might die. And I'm smoking, if I got a lighter, I'm smoking a Warfighter 50 cal. I think it's 50 cal. It's the only one they make in Maduro. And I needed to get this out of my humidor because it's been in there for quite a while. It may just go up in flames. All right, first of all, thank you guys who have joined me on Patreon. There are 10 whole subscribers over there now. So, a special thanks to those guys who actually think the stuff I have that I'm saying is actually worth paying to hear. The monetization process on YouTube is going about as well as can be expected. Supposedly, I am now monetized for ads, they say. I don't know if that's true. Tell me if you're seeing ads on my stuff. I go, it doesn't show me unless I log into the wife's account and all that kind of stuff and go look at a video. And I think it's just weird watching myself, I'll be honest. I don't do it. The only time I watch my videos is when somebody asks me a question about something I said, and I'll be perfectly honest with you. I'm on auto taunt most of the time, so I really don't know what I say. I have to go back and look and make sure I didn't say anything that was blatantly bad, because you guys know I'm concerned about that. All right. I don't know if I talked about it before or mentioned it before, but there was a guy out in New York who apparently was making his own firearms, ordering parts and putting together guns. And, of course, being in the People's Republic of New York, somebody found out. The way I understand it was his credit card company actually turned him in for buying firearms parts and having them shipped to New York. Now, they painted this guy as basically a psycho trying to overthrow everything, had an arsenal, and for New York, he had a lot of guns. All right, I'll say that. He had 13 or 14, I'm thinking it was. 4 of which were assault weapons, ARs. That no military in the world uses. And he had built all these himself. And he was, I don't know what he was attempting to do or that, because he had 50 rounds of ammunition. 50. There's probably more than 50 laying on the floor in my truck. I guess ATF will be here next. In some circles, 14 or 13 or 14, whatever you had, would be rookie numbers. I'm not saying that's me, because all of my guns were tragically lost in a canoeing accident last year, and I don't have any left. Okay, that's not true. You guys have seen two in the background when I'm sitting in my chair. But apparently, the judge that this guy drew, and I didn't investigate to see what court she was on or anything like that, but she's a New York judge, and she said that not to use the Second Amendment argument because the Second Amendment does not exist in her courtroom. Weird. I thought her courtroom might be in the United States someplace. Just weird. Just weird. But apparently, no, I didn't read the whole thing, so I don't know if the Second Amendment doesn't exist in just her courtroom or in that courthouse or in New York in general, or I don't know what she was trying to say there. There's nothing funny about this case, but there are things that I find humorous about the case. Like I said, this guy was building guns, and he was a hobbyist. He just liked building guns. All right. They didn't, as far as I know, they didn't find any big manifesto in his house where he was going to overthrow the government, or whether he was going to do a whole bunch of nasty stuff, or whether he was going to shoot up places or anything like that. He just liked building guns. He bought gun parts and turned them into whole guns. I don't know anything about the guy. I heard one guy talking about him on the internet that said he was an engineer of some sorts, chemical, electrical, something along those lines. So apparently not a dumb guy. Dumb enough to live in New York. But apparently intelligent enough to be an engineer of some sort. And they sentenced this guy. This has been going on for a few weeks now. I first heard it about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I guess. And I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but I want to talk about it today because it's come to light. They sentenced this guy to 10 years. This lady judge sentenced this guy to 10 years for basically doing nothing wrong. And in her statement about the judgment, she said she wanted to send an example to the criminal element and show them what happens when you're bad in New York, when you're messing around with these guns. I'm sure that the criminal element who don't buy their gun parts online and assemble them in their house, I'm sure they're quaking in their boots. I'm sure that they are out of this, because they sent an engineer, a law-abiding engineer, to jail, and they sent him to Riker Island. Holy crap! That guy, I hope he lasts. I really hope he makes it. What I find really humorous about it is if something had happened and he had been walking down the street with one of these guns in his pockets and the police accosted him and ended up arresting him and so on and so forth, they would say he was arrested because of the color of his skin and was fairly and unfairly targeted. But I guess if you like guns and you're law-abiding, you don't get to play the race card. I didn't see anybody bring that up. I brought it up. Sorry. But anyhow, go look this stuff up yourself. It's easy to find. Second Amendment doesn't exist. Just search on that. And I am sure it will be one of the very first things that comes up. Now I gotta go outside and work on a new dog pen that I'm building. I've been looking online, and YouTube is offering me a lot of advice in the form of suggested videos in the creator content line. Apparently, I do everything wrong on YouTube. So, don't look for me to change. Talk to y'all later. Hope to see you in the woods. Warfighter 50 cal, I do it again. And the bourbon cream, I've done a lot of it. So, I would do it again. Have a nice day. See you in the woods.